Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into this video. Just a quick reminder, this video is for informational and research purposes only. It does not constitute investment advice or an offer to buy or sell securities. Please refer to the full disclaimer at the end of the video. So in today's video, we're covering the latest developments in the crypto market, including Circle's IPO, Bitcoin's evolving role as a global hedge, and how Edge Capital is positioning itself to capitalize on these structural shifts. Vadim, I'll hand it over to you. In your view, how are you seeing the current market environment?
Thank you, Boback. We think that fundamentals of crypto are very strong. The market environment has been volatile, but only thing we know is that, first of all, US regulations are coming. This is a material change for the whole industry and for the whole world, right? We already see a number of lawsuits being dropped by the SEC. We see more venture money coming into crypto. We see a lot more new companies in the US in crypto appearing in the past even few months. This is number one. The second point is you clearly see Bitcoin and crypto is reflecting it. Bitcoin is at the all-time highs and has been doing extremely well. We also see more companies actually moving towards the US, moving back to the US because they think that the US is the next place for crypto because it's extremely friendly.
Great. Circle, the issuer of USDc stablecoin, recently went public. Would you consider this IPO a major milestone in the crypto markets?
I do, yeah, because so far we've seen primarily tokens getting issued, chains and smaller companies, right? So it's frankly probably the second largest company. So Coinbase did it, and now Circle did an IPO. It's currently traded about $23 billion valuation, and what's really Circle is doing is giving you access to a stablecoin called USDc. They have about $60 billion in assets. You can mint, redeem USDC, and send USDC anywhere on the planet. The Circle is actually not the largest, not the biggest stablecoin issuer in the world. Tether, that issues USDT, is the largest one. It's about $160 billion. So, in our opinion, the stablecoin market will grow materially over time. Why? Because you have instant payments across the globe, right? Very cheap, very fast, very straightforward, anywhere, and in a very transparent way. So many companies actually switching to settlements through stablecoins instead of doing settlements through wire payments, right? Because banks are closed over the weekends, you cannot settle it on time, banks sometimes withhold your assets and so on. So this market is extremely valuable, and we think it will grow to about $1 trillion in the next few years. So Circle is just in the beginning, right? So $60 billion in assets that Circle has, they primarily sit in US treasuries, about 4% a year. So the company is naturally generating a few $1 billion a year. What we see a path that Circle has been acquiring some other companies on the market that would allow them actually to start dominating the market because the company is extremely profitable. So I do think that this is a big milestone for the global markets, number one, and clearly for the US. That's why the IPO has been extremely successful so far.
Great, thanks for your insight. So moving on to Bitcoin, has Bitcoin proven itself as a global hedge? And in your view, what's driving its outperformance relative to other tokens?
That's a very good question. I think that we had always a narrative that Bitcoin was a hedge, then it was not a hedge. What you really see in the past half a year, Bitcoin has been outperforming a lot of assets. Let's look what happened this year. So US equity sold off a lot because of the tariffs. Bitcoin clearly was affected as well, but Bitcoin recovered in full and pretty much has been reaching all-time highs, outperforming other tokens, the majority of the equity markets in the world, and so on. So we truly think that Bitcoin has been proving itself to be a digital gold that people started believing, and they've been acquiring it as a global hedge overall. If you look at other tokens, if you look at Ethereum, for example, if you look at the chart of Bitcoin and Ethereum, you see that Ethereum is still probably halfway from its highs where it used to be. What was interesting during even 2 months ago, Ethereum was trading at very low levels, pretty much close to the levels when FTX bankruptcy took place in 2022. So that was a significant sell-off triggered by liquidation, open interest. It all bounced back really, really fast. The majority of tokens that, for example, we're working with, right? They materially went up in price by a few X actually. So, but from that perspective, Bitcoin has been definitely outperforming.
Great. So it's clear from some of the points you made earlier in this video, there's been a lot of positive structural changes to the crypto landscape. How is Edge Capital capitalizing on this?
That's a very good question. So you're totally right. So first of all, we have a lot of inflows in the fund. So we've been doing extremely well. And we are very optimistic and positive about the industry. I think the narrative of what we do and the strategy we run is relatively unique. Why? Because we do liquidity provisions, or we provide capital to crypto companies through smart contracts. What does it mean? Think about it as we would provide seed capital to hedge funds, right? We want to launch a hedge fund, you need capital, we'll come in, provide liquidity, and help them scale. So in different shapes or forms, we did more than 100 deals over the past 5 years, and we're probably one of the largest players in the industry right now who's doing this. The trick in our business is that we would receive equity or tokens of these companies. Obviously, when there was a massive sell-off a month ago, these valuations were extremely low, so we couldn't generate money. Everything changed really fast over the past month. Environment has improved. These tokens went up a few 100%, all of them. Bitcoin is at all-time highs. So this is changing materially the narrative where we are, because now in terms of what we do, we're getting more value from our investors, from the companies we invest, right? We're getting more money, we're getting more yield, we're getting higher APRs, which is structured extremely positive for us.
Great. Thank you so much for the insights, and thank you all for tuning in. If you'd like to view any of our research papers or learn more about the Edge Capital strategy, we'd be more than happy to send over some information, and please feel free to get in touch.
Thank you so much.